Spill the TTV. We are back, and then we got Akeem Ali, Kimi Casanova, Hoodie
Yes.
Key. We got all three persons in one over here.
Yes.
So let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me at AKEEM__Ali or at Kimi, that's KEEMY .Casanova, CASANOVA. Follow me or swallow me. You feel me?
So it's been about 2.5 years since Kimi Casanova has taken off. And when I mean that taken off, it was in everybody's playlist.
Yeah.
You had everybody knows about the Groovy Pimp Alter Ego.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to say that you were really the prototype for a lot of independent artists. So for those that don't know, my platform is about community development and about helping just creatives grow. Mm-hmm. Now, when I talk to a lot of independent artists, my clients or artists that I meet, they really look at what you did. So they're like, okay, well, a lot of them may talk to you and they be like, well, Akeem Ali, I know this worked for him. I know he just gave advice as, as an independent artist, like to do this and to not do this. So how do you feel about where you are 2.5 years later after the success of your biggest single?
Well, for starters, no one thing is gonna work the same way for everybody. Mm-hmm. So I do have to tell people that you have to use your discernment about what's gonna work for you or what can and will work for you. Mm-hmm. I had feelings about certain stuff. Now, granted, and I will tell people this to my benefit of what I'm saying. I didn't have a feeling about Kimi Casanova. Mm-hmm. I was just bullshitting and made a perfect mistake. Okay. If that makes sense. So yeah, and then when it worked, I was just like, well, shit, look at here, but some things worked for me, but that don't mean it's gonna work for somebody else. So I tell people you gotta have a strong sense of discernment when you approaching a lot of this stuff. You just have to know how to work it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You gotta know what you're doing and know how to do it. Because if I could have told anybody about who I was as an artist and what song I thought was gonna do it for me, and if they asked me to play me your top song that you think is gonna, you know what I'm saying, I wouldn't have played that. Mm-hmm. That wouldn't have even been a thing. But it just goes to show you do have to be different. You have to be refreshing because people are. I guess that song spoke to people being tired of what they were seeing,
right? And
we wanted something that felt new. We want something that tapped into nostalgia.
Because when people get here in Atlanta, they all want to sound the same.
Yeah. So it's just I don't know. You just got to know how to play it. But I do give people advice and I tell them what worked for me. And you take bits and pieces of it and apply it to what you got going on, and maybe it can work for something that you trying to put together. So
okay. And then when we met a couple months in the studio, mm-hmm. you were kind of saying well, I advise artists to not pay for a lot of things or whatever.
Right.
So, but of course, because being an artist, of course, that's a business. So you do have to invest in yourself in certain ways. Mm-hmm. So what do you think is worth paying for, and I guess what's not worth paying for?
Yeah, I always tell artists, you pay for promotion. If you're going to put ads and stuff up on Instagram or Facebook, that's cool. But don't pay to perform. Because at the end of those performances, my name is such and such. Follow me at boom, 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 boom. This is a crowded place. 9 times out of 10, people's phone service not working. You know what I'm saying? How they go when they in them places. And nobody pulls their phone out and follow you. And I've been guilty of not doing it, And the first thing the consumer wants to do is not care. We just really don't want to give a damn. Mm-hmm. So unless you capturing us right off back, we just don't care about it. So I tell people, don't pay to perform, man. You can promote yourself in that aspect. And people can hear your music. You could be more intimate with people versus they coming and, you know what I'm saying? It's 10 people here to see they one person that they came to see. They don't really care about you. They came to support this person. Granted, sometimes you may be able to catch a few ears, but I mean,
So how do you feel about paying for interviews and blogs?
I don't feel like that's a thing. Nah. I feel like when people want you, they're gonna send for you. You know what I'm saying? And when it's meant to be or when it's there, it's gonna be ready for you. You know what I'm saying?
You big on promote yourself.
Yeah, you got everything that you need. Your talent and your work ethic. You can literally outwork everybody. And meeting people and networking and actually talking to people. A lot of artists like to stay in the house, stay behind the curtains in their room in the shadows and shit. And I'm you can't do that.
You definitely can't do that in 2023.
Yeah. And so when you're not Kendrick status or Frank Ocean status or J. Cole status, you can't stay in the house and just make music and expect people to fuck with it. Like, you are hiding from people that don't even know you exist, or you hiding from folks that don't know you. So, like, we need a face to put with the product, or we need something to put with this brand that you started. So, yeah. But pay for studio time, pay for cover art, pay for mixing and mastering, you know, pay these engineers and stuff like that. If it makes sense to pay somebody for something, I would say do it. But you want to be paid to perform. You don't want to pay to perform. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't know. I'm really weird about that. But I can't tell people what does and what doesn't work for them. You know what I'm saying? Because when I'm telling an artist, don't pay for it, you know what I'm saying? He has a feeling about it. And that could be cutting somebody else's bread short. So I ain't going to tell you, like, just don't necessarily do it, because if it works and it makes a lot of sense, I would go for it. And it has to be reasonable, because somebody asked me, shit, do you want to open up for, like, Michael Jackson? Hell yeah. It's $5,000. Oh, yeah, okay. Mm-hmm. Like Michael Jackson, shit. But, I mean, if it's anybody else, I probably wouldn't do it now.
So tell us about your journey from leading up to Kimi Casanova, because I know you said that was kind of a mistake. Mm-hmm. And then the moment when you realize, oh, snap, people are catching on to this, like it's blowing up. Yeah. Since you are all for, like, promote for yourself. Yeah.
Man. So I moved out here to Atlanta in 2016. I had just turned 22. And I moved, like, from Jackson, Mississippi. I was working a job overnight at a metal plant. And I was cutting hair in the daytime. And I was like, I was actually supposed to stay with my job to the end of the year, and I said I was going to move, like, 2017. But something happened. I was like, I just want to get the hell up out of here. So I moved early. Got out here and thought I was going to be famous in, like, a month, like everybody else do. And that shit didn't happen.
You ain't getting the clout circles, bro. You ain't getting them right.
Yeah, nah. That shit, it did not happen like that. And I ain't mad at it, because it went the way it was supposed to go, and it taught me a lot, you know. But I did get out here, like, the first 4 months and blew all my money.
Oh, man. What did you blow your money on?
Spending it. I was so impressed when I got out here.
On women?
Oh, man.
Because we fine out here. I know.
Man, yeah, I was so impressed. I wasn't, like, jocked out, like, super hard, but I was just like, these motherfuckers fine. But I realized everywhere you go, you had to buy a drink. Like, you had to, like, pay for parking, pay to get in. And I was just like, well, shit, you know.
What was going on in Jackson? Like, it was
cool, but we didn't have to pay for everything every time we went somewhere. And then it's like everybody in Jackson know everybody. Like, it's a big family. You know what I'm saying? Out here, y'all not like family. Everybody just cool with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like my partner and them. But you grew up with everybody in Jackson. Like, you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody, like, one way or another. Like, sometimes out here you just meet people through people, and it'd be like, it's cool because, but out there everybody just know everybody. So
you got out here, you blew all your money.
Hell yeah.
And you were doing music then.
Yeah, I was doing music. What's crazy, I didn't even have a project out at the time. Like, I was still doing music, but I didn't even have music out. So what saved me, because, like, right out of high school I joined the military. What saved me from going completely broke and damn near probably being homeless, my unit got deployed. So I moved out here in September. My unit got deployed in February, and I had to move out my apartment. I was like, fuck yes, I ain't got to pay rent. I can go over here and stack some bread. And I was like, that's love. So got back in 2018, and I was like, all right, I'm going to try this shit again. I got a pocket full of money again. I know not to spend it as fast this time. I get a job and was like, I'm just going to work and let this money kind of sit and just kind of keep piling onto it or just not have to touch it. That was trash. I didn't want to go back to cutting hair because I was cutting hair out here. But I didn't want to go back to cutting hair. I was like, I got to take time to build up clientele. I've been gone for almost a year. You know what I'm saying? So I got a job at fucking True Green.
Okay.
The grass people.
Okay. I don't think I've heard of that.
You've probably seen a sign. You know how you see the ADT signs in your yard? You see like True Green in people's yards. They be like cutting your grass, doing like grass treatments and shit.
How much you was making there?
You did commission, but you still got like paid like regularly. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to lie and say it was this or that amount, but I just wasn't fucking with it. I ain't gonna lie, because the way they had us out there in that sun, bro, I was just like, nah. I was like, do you know who I am? Right. At the time when I wasn't nobody. But they must don't know who I'm finna be. Shit. I quit that shit. I quit. And I was like, fuck, I'm gonna go ahead and get back in the barbershop. So I went to the shop, started working. This still 2018. I worked in the shop till like, for like a year and a half. Yep. But in between all of that time, so this 2018, at the top of 2019, I dropped a project called Rolling. Mm-hmm. I wanted to promote, so I had music. I had stuff that I could actually, like, you know what I'm saying, rap to people or say to people. Like, I did have, like, a bunch of freestyles and stuff in my phone and everything, and, like, notebooks full of raps. But I was like, that's all, and I don't want to do that. And so I just promoted.
So how did you promote?
I used to wake up and go to, so on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, those were, like, slow days at the shop. So I would get up, especially on Mondays and Tuesdays, and go to Clark, go to Spelman, go to Morehouse, Georgia State, and, like, literally walk the campus all morning from, like, 9 in the morning to, like, 12 or 1. You know what I'm saying? And just all day just stopping people, rapping to them, rapping. Follow my Instagram. And so I have a goal set.
You did some guerrilla marketing.
Yeah, I'd be like, today, I ain't leaving until I get 150 followers. So I got to stop 150. And it take a lot of time, too, because when you stop them, like, 2 at a time, 3, maybe 4, it was like I was trying to catch big crowds of people. And some people didn't want to be bothered. It was like, I'll stop some people. No, thank you. I don't listen to rap. I'm like, well, I could do R&B too. Just not today. And I was like, they treat you like you homeless sometimes. Right. Shit. I'm like, you just don't know. But yeah, I did that for the longest. All 2019. Paid for like open mic stuff, like open mics and showcases. And
what's the worst open mic you paid for? You was like, man, I spent all this money, and it's like, what the?
A showcase I went to in New York one time. It was just the fucking worst. And it was just bad because I spent so much money, and but you know, that was a good trip for me. I made it a good trip, but it was just the showcase was just so damn bad, and it sucks so bad, bro. Like, and the people that I thought should have won didn't even win because I went and I fucked my setup. And so I was like, I ain't tripping if I don't win because I know, like, my tactics. I'm coming with everything else in order. And, like, right. Because there was people in there that performed better than me. It was like, bro, you got a business mindset. Like, you really doing the right thing. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da-this. And I was
like, so why'd they say that?
Because the shit that I was doing off the stage is what they wish they could have been doing. Or they was like, I should have done that. I should have thought of that. And I'm just like, well. And, like, literally everybody, before everybody performed, I probably had everybody's Instagram. Like, everybody contact, you know what I'm saying? Then when I went on stage, I fucked my setup because I was talking and trying to, like, you know when you're in a club and you're trying to talk to somebody about something and you got to yell? Should have been saving my voice. When I got on stage, my voice started going out. Oh. And I didn't know, like, about performing at the time. I just thought you get up there and you just say what you're going to say, and my voice started going hoarse, like, right in the middle of my performance.
Oh, my God.
People liked the songs, just like they couldn't hardly hear what I was saying. And I was running out of breath, and I'm like, oh, no. I'm like, I'm in this bitch malfunctioning, like, for real. Like, my radiator done ran hot. Like, I done stopped in the middle. I'm like, dawg, this shit is hard. But, nah, it was cool. It was cool because I got the promotion that I needed. And I walked Times Square up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm like, I got lost on the subway and every fucking thing. Like, I stayed outside one night to probably like 1, 2 in the morning just promoting.
So you went from Clark Atlanta, from leaving the barbershop, going on Clark Atlanta campus every day, to doing the showcases, going to New York, going to Times Square. And then what else was leading up to that moment? Like, all right, I'm making it. It's everybody catching on.
Oh, those weren't the moments. Those prepared me for these moments. But man, that wasn't it. I decided like that same year that I was gonna quit working in a barbershop. So I guess I made my mind up, and every day I came to the shop, I was telling my clients, like, I'm finna quit. I'm finna just start doing this rapping thing. Because my clients, they knew I made music, and they used to listen to my project, and they come in and be like, man, it's actually pretty good. Like, this shit sound all right. You know what I'm saying? And I guess sometimes it's funny because some of them probably did believe, and some of them probably like, I had somebody tell me, like, you're a better barber. You know what I'm saying? Or you cut hair so good, you should just stick to it. But I guess they see me now and be like, damn, that nigga really said he was going to do that and, like, really got the fuck up out of here. And it's happening for him. You know what I'm saying? I have people call me sometimes like, yo, my people's from way up or from way over. They know you. Like, that's crazy. Like, and I was telling them you was my barber, and they didn't even believe me. And I was just like, yeah, I told you. But, yeah, I decided I was going to quit. My last day in the barbershop was, like, December the 23rd. and I sent my the guy who owned the barbershop, I sent him a message like a week or so before. I was like, I'm quitting. Don't try to talk me out of it. I'm just not gonna be here no more after Christmas. And so that's it. Went home to Jackson for Christmas. Had a blast. Went to Dallas for New Year's. Had a fucking blast. And yeah, came back home. And all this was before COVID, so I decided I was gonna quit before I knew the pandemic hit. And the pandemic was almost like a blessing and a curse at the same time. It was a blessing for me, I ain't gonna lie. It's just a bunch of shit happening in the world that kind of made it like a curse for everybody else. But man, got back home, the top of the year, it's 2020. Pandemic hit like what, February, March? Did it?
Yeah. It hit March of 2020.
Okay, yeah, March. So I had a plan. The only thing was I was broke because I quit work. So I was like, damn, what I'm gonna do? So what I did was I invited certain clients because they were still calling me like, can you cut me, man? Can you give me? So I was like, all right, what I do is I take certain clients and I cut them at home, raise my prices a little bit, and then that'll be that. So I went up to like $50 a cut. Sheesh. At the time.
Ain't finna bring my nigga to you.
I'm cold though. I'm cold.
Okay.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm cold.
Okay.
I might have. No, it was $50 for new clients. My old clients, it was like $35.
Okay.
$50. I was like, if you're a new client, it's gonna be $50. But the people who have been fucking with me, you know what I'm saying, I was just like, I'm gonna, you know what I'm saying, hook y'all up. And then when you bring somebody new to me, I mean, I try to kind of like finagle it a little bit, but I did that. And so took everything off my Instagram because I was like, it just don't feel like I'm an artist. It just feels like I just got an Instagram and I say I rap. You know what I'm saying? I was like, I need content and I need something that shows people like range. I need something that shows people like substance, like they need to be entertained when they get here. Like it's just a whole slew of things that I had in my mind. So one of these guys who hair I used to cut at the shop, before I quit, what I told him was, he did pictures, he did photography. And I said, bro, I want you to do a photo shoot for me. And I was like, how much you charge? He like, oh, okay, I charge $150. So I'm like, damn, I gotta cut this nigga hair for like 4-5 times to get a goddamn photo shoot. So I was like, all right, cool. I was like, I cut your hair for free, and then I want a photo shoot. And he was like, okay. Cut his hair. He was like, when you gonna shoot? Oh, I ain't ready yet. I had started cutting his hair probably like November, October maybe. And I was supposed to been did a shoot. And I was like, I have my ideas ready by the time they get here, da-da-da. Literally, I probably cut this man hair for free for like 4 months, 5 months maybe. And didn't do nothing. And he was just like, we talk about this too. He was just like, bro, at one point I felt sorry because I thought I was taking advantage of you. And I was like, no, I knew what the fuck I was doing. Like I had it all figured out, you know what I'm saying? And I had quit working at the barbershop, but he was still coming to the house getting his hair cut. Started doing the videos. And I said I was gonna do color schemes. So I was gonna do like a color with 2 pictures on the side, a video in the middle of me rapping. So I did a green color scheme. It was like photo shoot, video, photo shoot. Then I did yellow theme. Then I did like red.
That's branding.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Then I did, the red one was the third one. So they progressively got better and people liked them more and more each time because when I took everything on my page, people was like, what's up, bro? You all right? Like, what's going on? I'm like, just be cool. Posted that green one, motherfuckers was like, okay, this is hard, bro. I like this. They reposted. I'm like, damn, the reactions I'm getting off this is like what I expected and what I wanted. Posted the yellow one, they like, oh, this nigga snapping. Got to the third one, posted red. Bro, this hard. And it was like so much traction off that one. They was like, yeah, you need to keep doing it. Got to like it was like a white and black one. I did like the Jesus Walk sample by Kanye. And I was like, when I post this one, this gonna be the one. Have you seen that, heard that audio? Yup, this gonna be the one. This gonna be the viral one. Yo, I go back, 2 likes. What do you say, 11 likes? What do you say, 2 likes? And I'm both of them.
So was it viral?
Nah, but it got the traction that I thought it was gonna get. I just wanted, like, at the time, I was psyched out and was like, if Shade Room post this, it's going to be so good. But I was chasing the wrong thing. You feel me? So it did do good, but I was like, this is going to be the one. People going to fuck with this one so hard, and people really did. They really did. It was just that it didn't go viral.
Right.
I posted the next one, because that one was like a white and black color scheme right after the red one. The next one, the brown one. That brown one was Kimi Casanova. And when I did that, it was September. By the time I posted that, it was September 2020. So we into the pandemic. Like, granted, now I'm not posting nothing in between these. So it's like, and I post one row that day. Like, I post that whole row that day. So if it's
a row of different clips of Kimi Casanova.
No, a row. So that green row.
Okay.
It was 3 posts in one day.
Okay, got
and
you.
So crazy thing is, Kimi Casanova, I had written it like in April. I had written it when I was already doing other stuff, and it was sitting in the song was sitting in my phone. We had already had a video made and everything, and I didn't like it, and I wanted to redo it. So I was like, we're gonna redo the video. We're gonna redo all of this. Like, it was supposed to be like a beige or like a khaki color, like, you know what I'm saying, tan. I was like, let's redo it, and I do brown. You know what I'm saying? Change the outfit. I literally changed everything about it.
So this was your first time in like a groovy outfit?
Second time.
Because
I had did it before.
Oh, right. You did it. You didn't like it.
Yep, and I didn't like it at all. I'm like, this is trash. I didn't like the beat that it was on. So I had to end up finding new everything for it and redid it. Yep. And so my girlfriend at the time, she was in the video with me. Yeah. So I did that. And I remember going home to my engineer, and I was recording, and he was like, and this is what was kind of like, I ain't gonna say it was bothering me. But I was rapping, he was like, you pimping now, ain't it, man? He was like, you a pimp now, ain't it? And I was like, yeah, I'm just trying to do this shit for content for my page and blah, blah, blah. Posted that. I was at home for a funeral in September. The funeral was Monday. Wednesday, I was gonna leave like the next morning, I think. Maybe that day. But posted it September 30th. Laid down. And you know, like when you normally post, if you put something up and how my engagement had been going, I'm like, if I post, I'm gonna swipe down and see who looking at it right then and there. But with this one, I posted it, I laid my phone down, and I said, I'm finna go to sleep because I'm tired. And I wasn't feeling good, like talking about mentally. I was like, I'm just finna lay down. I woke up and see comment, this shit hard. Man, this nigga snapping. Man, this outfit, man, these pictures. And I was just like, oh, they like it. They fuck with it. I'm like, cool, okay, that's good. And then it didn't hit me. I got back home, and I was shooting a video for a song that I got out now called We Don't Roll. Like, it didn't hit me until that morning we was doing the video, and somebody had reposted me, and my Instagram started going crazy because, granted, I had like 5,000 followers. It got up to 10,000, then 12,000. I'm like, oh, this shit growing fast. And I found the person who reposted me, Martina Marie. We cool now. So, and I was like, damn, this crazy. People kept like listening to it, reposting. So it went from like that 12,000 to 20. And I'm like, I used to pray for times like this, to run like this, goddamn. I was like, 20,000 followers. I'm thinking like, that's the world. When you go from having like 2,000 and 3,000 people following you and you trying to get like so many people, like, cause some of the people that I was looking at, I was like, I want their blueprint of what they got. Like how you say some of your clients be like, oh, what Akeem Ali. But what they was doing didn't work for me. Right. What I did worked for me. You know what I'm saying? So it went, I wasn't even chasing what they had. It was just like, I wish I could get where they at or get what they have. And man, that shit just started like boom, 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 boom. Then my homeboy, Martin Norman from back home, he like screenshotting that he had sent the video to certain people, and he sent it to either Carlos Miller or Chico. And they was like, we want to get him on the show. I remember that. And that's when I first discovered you, 85 South I'm like, whatever. I'm like, when I see it. He capping. Yeah, I'm like, when I see it. So this September, I'm going to say probably like October I dropped. What happened was so many people loved the visual of it. They was like, where's this song? Where's this song? And I started telling myself, oh, I got to get the song out because this money I'm losing, the longer I wait. Put the song out. And man, that shit started going crazy. When people started sending me celebrities listening to it, I'm like, this ain't for real. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? And they was sending me like everybody, and people was DMing me. Mothers that don't know me, I'm talking about like, and I'm like, ain't no way. When T.I. DM'd me, I was just like, what? Then mother like Waka Flocka, and I'm like, just other people. It's a bunch of names, man. Like somebody posted Snoop listening to it, and I'm like, what? That's crazy. You're not even signed. You ain't nothing. Nothing at all. Then I started having people call me. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, oh shit. What was them label conversations like? Oh man, it was. I'm gonna get to it in a second. Let me put this down. Let me put this down real quick. So yeah, the show end up pulling through. I get on there. At the time, I didn't have like, I thought I had looked at it and watched like an episode prior to mine. I think I had watched Deontay Hitchcock episode, or maybe he was after me. I think I had maybe watched like Young Dro or somebody. And so I was like, I'm gonna get on here, and I know what the setup gonna be like, so I ain't surprised by that. I'm just gonna do my thing. When I got on there, and I always said this, Carlos and DC and like Chico, like they try to be so, in my head, I'm like, these niggas be trying to be so funny all the time. I'm like, all they want to do is roast and talk shit and like flame. I'm like, when I get on here, I'm finna flame these niggas. You know what I'm saying? That was my mindset. So I'm like, I'm gonna get on there and I'm gonna rap and I'm gonna do my little shit. But I was like, when I get up there, it's either gonna be that or I'm gonna be like, shit, I wanna rap against them niggas because they be doing that shit on Wild 'N Out. And so what happened was I get up there and I'm doing my little set and I was like, well, shit, y'all niggas come up here. Get up there and we just start freestyling, going back and forth. And that shit was just like, man, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Them niggas like, man, we just shit. Well, let's just go and do the interview part right here. We standing up, we already in the groove. And I was like, yeah, I didn't know what that was going to do.
Right.
Because when people got hold to that, that took my shit like on up out of here some more. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And I was just on there just like genuinely being myself and like, you know what I'm saying, vibing with them, letting that shit be what it was going to be. And motherfuckers fuck with it. But
then you got the label calls.
Yeah, I had label calls.
I want to hear what was like the craziest, I guess, label call or offer. You ain't gotta say the company.
I'm gonna tell it because before all of this shit popped, I was always like, I want to be signed, and I want to be signed to TDE or Dreamville. And I used to say it, and I used to like manifest that shit, and it's crazy because I was at home in Jackson around Thanksgiving. It was Thanksgiving time. Yep. And somebody hit me and was like, trying to get in contact with you about flying you out. Like somebody who works for Kendrick's A&R from Interscope want to fly you out here. He works with TDE and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, bullshit. I was like, this ain't fucking real. I'm like, whatever. So he was like, give me your name and your date of birth and we're going to book the flight and da-da-da-da-da-da. So I'm like, okay, here you go. They sent that flight back and I was like, oh, they ain't bullshitting. I'm like, they want me in LA immediately. Yeah, so, matter of fact, it might have, I think it was it? Because I went there at the top of 21. So I called my photographer, the dude. I was like, I need somebody to travel with the dude who actually shot the video. I called him. Because I'm like, bro, we're going to LA. Da-da-da-da. He's like, what? He's like, oh, that's crazy. So I get out here to LA. And, like, that's crazy because the whole time I've been talking about this shit, you know what I'm saying? Get in the studio and sitting down. The guy who had me flown out there initially, he talking to me, you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting down. And he was like, yeah, Top is outside. He about to come in. And Top walked through the door, and I'm just like, what in the motherfucker? I'm like, how did I get here? And I was just like, man. He was like, oh, what's up? You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan. And like, I was just like, damn, this shit is crazy. So I'm trying to like process it. And it was just like, the shit you got out, you know what I'm saying? It's nice. He was like, play me something. Because I was like, that ain't the direction I want to go with my music. I don't want to do no Kimi Casanova type shit.
Right.
And when he got in there, he was like, play us some of your other shit. That's what we more interested in. Like, I think they had heard rolling. And they was like, play us some of your other stuff that don't sound like that. And I was like, yes, I'm so happy. And I played it. And he was just like, play me some of the songs that you would play. Like, it's like top 5 songs. Like, I'm playing that shit. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man, this is so fucked. That whole weekend was crazy for me. I had to tell this as part of the story.
Please do.
That whole weekend was so fucking crazy. So I'm out there.
Have you told this story on the podcast?
No.
Okay.
Nah. So that same, I might have, but I don't think I told it in this capacity.
Okay. So
we out there, and the whole time, like, Lou, he was playing for the Clippers. And so he stayed in LA. And the thing was, like, we want to try to get in the studio with Snoop. He wanted that to make that happen. And he was like, Snoop heard about you. He was like, he want to get in, but you know what I'm saying? He busy, but to us it correlated as like he was moving slow and beating his feet about it, but just a busy nigga. Literally, I was supposed to leave Sunday. That's when my flight was. I got out there like, I want to say Thursday, maybe Friday. Was supposed to leave Sunday. the guy who flew me out, now I got a phone call. Lou hit me and was like, Snoop said he ready. He want to work today. And I was like, how the fuck can I go home? I was like, I can't go back to the house. I'm like, shit. Hit the guy who flew me out there. I'm like, hey, bro, is it cool if I stay another day? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we move the flight back to like tomorrow, he was like, oh, yeah. No problem. I'm like, all right, bet. Damn, how does this shit happen? Because
this is the guy from TDE.
Yeah. I'm trying, well, he's from Interscope, but he worked with TDE.
All right.
Because that whole weekend was so fucking crazy. Like, it was Super Bowl weekend, too. Went to a Super Bowl party at Spank crib. This Kevin Hart homeboy. It was my first time meeting Spank.
Okay.
And you've probably seen him before, the tall, dark skin, when he do comedy as well.
Okay.
And I was like, bro, this shit is so fucking crazy because I'm like literally here like everywhere at one time. Mm-hmm. But anyway, we went to the studio. We went to Snoop's studio, and we all get there. And we like sitting in this little room waiting. And they was like, it's crazy because this type of shit you see on movies, like his security guard came in there and was like, all right, he's ready for you now. And I was just like, all right. So I get up, we all get up, and I let Lou go first because I'm like, you know him and you done met him. I don't know him. And so we go in there, him and Lou, like, you know what I'm saying? And because it's pandemic, I'm like, I don't know how people are about what they want to do, dap or like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just
and
like,
they real funny
I went in there and I'm just like, what's up? Mm-hmm. And he was like, nigga, you better give me some love, nigga. He said it just like that, and I was just like, all right. And just like, you know what I'm saying? I was just like, what's up, man? I'm like, damn. So I'm like, I'm in this motherfucker, dog. Like, but at the same time, like, how the fuck did I get here? Me and my photographer, I keep looking at him, and he looking at me. He like, you that nigga? And I'm like, you right. But yeah, it's crazy because like, man, we get there and like, I don't smoke, so I didn't even smoke. But it was just some crazy shit I gotta say. Like anybody else in the world would have smoked with Snoop just because Snoop. I get in there and didn't smoke nothing. Didn't smoke a damn hem hock on the stove.
That is a dream to smoke with Snoop.
Yeah, nah, I was just like shit. But you know what? It was a testament of me staying true to myself and like doing what I wanted to do and not what somebody else would have thought was cool. So I was like, I did drink like a goldfish though. You know what I'm saying? And so we did a song, and I worked on some other shit for myself. Yeah, and that was cool as hell. Like that was like that. I don't know. I guess being in the studio, and I got to hear some of Isaiah Rashad album before it released. So like we was in the studio and
because we have been waiting on music from him for a long time at that time.
Yeah, Zay's supposed to be coming through, you know, blah 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 blah. And I'm like, oh shit, if that nigga come in here, I might fuck around and lose it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
So it didn't go through with TDE.
Nah, because I had a situation I was trying to set up. The reason why I didn't was because it was on me. I didn't just necessarily always understand the nature of my my deal that I have now. I thought like if I signed to them, then that would be like breaching what I had, and I hadn't even signed yet. I hadn't even signed nothing. But
so you hadn't signed yet to Lou Will?
Nah, but because we was just like, we was still homies though. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, crazy shit happened that weekend. Man, it was some more crazy shit that happened. Like,
tell us what happened.
I was at the studio. I was at the Interscope studio, and I had actually signed while I was in LA. I signed the contract. Like that nigga just came in there to the studio and just slapped my whole advance on like on the desk. It was all hundreds, and I'm like, nigga.
Who will did it?
Yeah, I'm like, nigga. What am I gonna do with all this money? I'm like, I can't even fly back with this shit. I'm like, if you don't wire this shit to the bank. And what's crazy is I took the money. I had to tell him this story. I took the money to the bathroom, and I'm talking about like, this was a fucking wide. Took this shit to the bathroom and was just like, and I'm in there counting that shit, and then I look in the mirror and I'm like, it's all there. And I go back and then I give it back to him, and I was just like, yeah, I can't keep it. I was like, just send it through the bank. Would have been nice though to just have all that money, but you can't fly with more than like $10,000.
Right.
Yeah, that raised.
And then what if you lose it? Like,
you talking about a nigga would have been hurt. Mine. But that was I ain't gonna lie. Going to LA, that was probably the best weekend I ever had. Like I never have like fun when I go to LA. I'm always going out there to work. And the last time I went was pretty cool. But it's always work. I was working then, and I went to the studio every day then. But it was just like the shit that happened in between was just so motherfucking like unbelievable. I was like, dog, ain't no way. Like Man. And then I had like calls from like 300, Kevin Lyle's label, Epic, Atlantic, Alamo. It was just a bunch of people calling me.
Like, what were just some of the conversations like, just to inform like an independent artist that's looking to get a deal?
Yeah, they want to ask you what's your situation. That's a question that's like, you know what I'm saying?
How should the artist answer that question?
It depends on what your situation is, you know? The thing was, because all this shit was new to me, I didn't know what to tell these people, what to ask for, what to say.
Right.
And I was kind of letting, so at the time, like, Lou's team was my team. So I was kind of letting them just, like, speak on my behalf. But, and there wasn't nothing wrong with it. I just didn't know what I know now. Like, now I know exactly what questions to ask, what to say, you know what I'm saying? Tell these people what I want, what I expect.
What questions would you ask? What questions should an independent artist ask?
What are you doing for me that I can't get done for myself? Like, I'm independent and I have the resources. So it's like, you putting money behind a song, that's not impressive. You can do that. You know what I'm saying? We have the resources to push these songs or make them what we want them to be. We can get the song to gold ourselves in a year, 2 years. Can you get it to platinum? Like, or can you get it double platinum? What are your plans for this music? You know what I'm saying? It's just a bunch of shit, and it's depending on like what they're asking you. You know what I'm saying? But you also have to know how to not kick your own self in the ass by requesting too much, because I think as artists we think that we're worth more, but we haven't shown what we're worth. You know what I'm saying? Only we know how big we're gonna be. And like I always say, like, y'all just don't know like who I really am. And I sit and just be in that moment. I have to be humble right then, and then it manifests later. But these people don't know who you are. And so when you like, I want $1 million, they like, are you fucking stupid? You finna be here for the rest of your life. Right. We'll give it to you, but you ain't gonna never do nothing else after this. Like, so you have to be smart about it, and you have to take the right thing for less money sometimes, because you take the most money and to be fucked later on. You know what I'm saying? And that $1 million that they give you up front, you gotta pay all that back. And if you can't pay it back over the span of 10 years, 11 years, 12 years, you stuck. You know what I'm saying? So take you a little 100,000, knowing that you can recoup that 100,000 real quick, and then you can renegotiate your deal if you've done well and recouped everything. Well, now I want to sign for 200 or 250.
Okay.
And like, you know, they give you options. You know what I'm saying? So an option is an album or an EP, whatever they decide that the option is. And the option could be a mixtape, just depending on how you got your shit set up. So yeah, and then you got the options, but then you got the terms after the options, right? So it's like when this album drops, how does it work? We got 12 months after this album drop before you can drop another album. So you drop this album, and the term for it is 12 months. You don't need to drop again until another 12 months. And anything you do drop don't count towards your contract. So if I had 3 options and I say I'm gonna drop this album in January, well, if you drop a mixtape in July, that don't count towards what you got going on. So you just putting out free music. You know what I'm saying? Now, granted, it may recoup some of the stuff, but you still stuck here for 2 more albums. So it's like you got to be careful and you got to be strategic about it. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's best to like drop an album, and then like July, August, September, put out a single. You know what I'm saying? But you have to promote the album you just dropped, and that's to give it time to grow and do what it need to do. Then put out a single from your next project, and then maybe another single from your next project. You know what I'm saying? Then, all right, now these are the songs that I actually want to put out. Come in them 12 songs, 2 of them you done already put out, so you got 10 songs. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, so it gets complicated. And if you think about it, it's like somebody holding on to you for 3 years for $100,000, $150,000. But I mean, shit, you was gonna be making $50,000 on your own anyway. Right. So you just getting paid to do what you want to do and just making regular pay. You know.
Okay,
so
that makes a lot of sense.
It's ways to look at it. We be thinking we getting fucked or getting gypped, but like, just cool it, calm down. Take it easy, Frank.
Take it easy. Speaking of single, G.I. He's Bad, that you dropped a couple months ago. So, and in that one, we see both sides of you. We see, I guess, Akeem going into Kimi Casanova. So just tell us a little bit about that joint. I saw people in the comments like, how'd you get this past copyright and all this other stuff?
So I wanted to like give people a perception of like who I really am. It's not all like glitz and glamour. And I want people to actually know that this is a character, because some people think that this is who I really am in real life every day.
When I met you, I was shocked to find out that you a regular nigga, like.
But you know, and so it's a good thing that you shocked, because I did it so well that you believed it for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And
right.
I tell people,
I just thought you dressed like that all the time, just like slacks, you know, tighter in the crotch area with the hat.
Yeah.
Like.
Nah, and it's like when I feel like it or when I'm in that mood, I will, and that's a part of who I am. But I don't want to do that every day. I don't want to do that all the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? I will say, like, shout out to like Trinidad James. That's one nigga who can be that all the time, because that's who he is.
My biographer literally said you like kind of remind him of Trinidad James. Literally.
Yeah, but I was just a regular rap nigga who wanted to make regular superb raps. I'm excited because these are like, you know what I'm saying, a next level type of thing. But no, it's just knowing how to rap and making you believe what I'm saying, making it like really, really appeasing to the listener. That's what makes people think that I'm that person or that I'm like that. So when I show up and I'm in plain clothes, they like, wait a minute. I'm like, what's that Kanye meme? Gotcha. Gotcha. So yeah.
So what else can we expect after this single? What else can we expect? How many more albums you got to give us?
Oh, a lot. Man, I got probably 4 sitting in my phone right now.
4 albums?
Yeah.
So just to clear the air, I know you are partnered with Lou Will, but did you ever end up taking another deal with any of the other companies?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't. And that was one of the things where I didn't know the nature of what we had. And in my mind, and to anybody's mind, and I say it black and white like that to make people understand it in a sense. Are you signed to Lou Will? Yes. Because if I had to explain it, it's like, you know. But the reason why I didn't do business with TDE, because I thought if I was going to sign with them, that means that I'm cutting him out or under, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like snaking him or something. But I didn't know, like, we have a partnership.
Right.
And the goal was to find a label to sign to.
Right. Oh, but you so loyal, though. That's what's up.
Yeah. I was trying to just, like, not burn no bridges and nothing.
Right.
And at the time, me and him had these talks. Like, we like homeboys, you know what I'm saying? We had these talks. Like, it was time where he was just like, nigga, I don't know what the fuck going on. I'm scared as a motherfucker. And I'd be like, oh, you ain't the only one. Like, we both in this motherfucker, like, you know what I'm saying? And because, like, he investing all his money. He putting everything towards it. And I'm like, bro, I don't know where this shit is going. And that was one of them times where we panicked and kicked ourselves in the ass. And it was okay. It was okay because you had those moments, you know what I'm saying? But I look back now and was like, nigga, we literally had the shit in our lap. But because neither one of us understood all of this lawyer talk and all this contract talk and all of this shit and how that works, we just scared ourselves out of it, because that would have been like the major label back. So TDE is an indie label, and their major label backing is Interscope. Yep. So we had the major label. All we had to do was, I am Akeem Ali. I have a partnership with Winners United, and we are under TDE and Interscope. But we thought, I'm Akeem Ali. I'm signed to Winners United, and if I sign to y'all, then like
can't sign nobody else.
You feel me? It's like I can't do both, so it's like either or. But it was just like, nah, it just didn't work like that. Like Taco Bell and KFC, when they be combined, like they 2 separate entities, but they owned by different companies. But now Amazon can come in and say, hey, how about both of y'all come on over here to me, to Amazon? It's like, okay, yeah. Just like how Whole Foods, you know what I'm saying? Amazon owns Whole Foods. Amazon owns a lot of shit, so.
Right.
Yeah, but we just, you know, panicked and just didn't know no better. And that's cool, because I'm glad that I did learn. And that just means, like, if it didn't happen then, it wasn't for me right then. So I ain't tripping.
Okay, wow. Thank you for all this breakdown. Yeah, you taught our viewers a whole lot, so thank you so much. So let us know where they can find you one more time on social media. That's
AKEEM _ Ali. The handsomest nigga alive, because God made it that way. Yeah, and at KEEMY.CASANOVA. Follow me or swallow me. Yeah. Either one now. Either one.
And let us know in the comments who y'all think he should sign to. Not just playing.
No, let me know. Yeah, y'all let me know who y'all think I should sign to. Who would I be a good fit with? Because now, like, my sound has totally it's changed and like
it's evolved.
It has evolved so much beyond what people actually hear right now. That is scary. Like it's evolved so much, and I know because I get to listen to it.
Right.
While y'all sit and request it all the time and ask me to put it out. I be in the car having a whole fucking jam session like every day. So yeah. Y'all let us know.
Let us know who he should sign to, if he should go back and sign with Dreamville or try that around again with TD.
Yeah.
And make sure y'all follow us, Spill the Tea TV. That's Spill the Tea with 2 A's TV. Follow me at Teacup and hit us up 770-765-5422 and let us know next who we should interview. And we out.
Peace.